we've got very good report from Ahmed ibn Fadlan, who is an Arab from Baghdad. He's an envoy to the Khazars and to the Bulgars settled on the Volga River. These are nomadic tribes. The Khazars actually converted to Judaism. That's an interesting story in itself. And the Bulgars had recently converted to Islam. And to get there, he has to cross what we would call Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan today, around the Caspian Sea and into Russia. And he reports what life is like in the winter. There's no privacy. You are huddled together in these mobile homes, the yurt in Turkish, these felt tents. You can only survive on the hospitality of these Turks as they move from area to area. Your word is your bond. If you borrow animals, you swap out your tired beast for fresh beast, you are expected to return them in good condition. And woe to the man who does not follow his word, because you are punished ruthlessly. You endanger the group. It's amazing to Ibn Fadlan how open life is in these crowded quarters for months on end. And he's very offended of the fact that all sorts of private activities are done in front of the group, and he complains about it. And his hosts point out, well, maybe our women, you see more than you would in, say, Baghdad, but our women are modest and true to their husbands, whereas your women wear veils, and we know they're all seducing each other in Baghdad. We have these wild stories about this. So aren't you being a little disingenuous in your moral outrage? But this is a man coming from a very refined urban civilization, and he's really taken aback by the basic subsistence for this group. They all have to pull together. Women are moving the carts in the summer. They're driving them while the men are scouting, herding the animals. Children from a young age have to learn the skills. One feature of the Mongol court when they rule China, Kublai Khan is worried that his warriors will become too Sinified, and he creates these areas within his capital cities where the young can learn the steppe ways. The boys learn how to string bows and hunt animals, and women know how to weave, and all of those skills that would be necessary for that way of life. We don't want to get too close, and there's repeated warnings. One Turkish Khan, Bilge Khan, in the 8th century, sets up this monument, and one of his comments is, it's okay to trade with the Chinese, but don't build cities and live like the Chinese, because then you become vulnerable. They can attack the city. The Huns are the same way. We're told by Roman authors that the Huns get extremely nervous when they go into buildings. They can't see the blue sky. So that's not good. That's limiting our way of life. So the winters would be a very harsh time. You had to calculate very carefully how much food you would lay up. And then the summers can be blazing hot. We have several important reports of papal envoys across the steppes. William of Rubek in the 13th century reports, as he's traveling, the only way to get shade was to park that ox cart and stay under it for the midday, because you just couldn't possibly travel. There's no trees.